All right, so in this recording, we're going to specifically talk about the scientific method. So the scientific method is used to solve problems in a logical and orderly way. So it's a way we kind of approach problems in science. And so there are 8 steps. The 8 steps are to observe and research a phenomenon. So a phenomenon is just something you see, you notice. It could be as simple as, you see that a beetle always comes back to the same landing spot, and so you're interested in that, and so then you can ask a question like, why does a beetle come back to that same spot? And then you can form a hypothesis. Maybe beetles somehow know to come back to the same spot because they left some type of marker there. Then you can design an experiment to test if your hypothesis is true. You'll collect the data, analyze data. Oftentimes we graph and then form a conclusion. And if your hypothesis is wrong or you find something different, you would restart the whole process. Below is a good link that kind of explains the scientific method further. So we're going to talk about a couple things. Is what is an observation? Because first you want to observe a phenomena. So an observation is when you use your 5 senses to describe something. But there's 2 types of observations. One is qualitative, and that qualitative is just almost like a description, whereas quantitative actually refers to an amount. For example, let's see. Let me just draw something here. So let's say you saw these red boxes. So these 3 red boxes here. You would say the qualitative description or observation would be like, they're red, they're square. But the quantitative is, there's 3 of them. There's 3 red boxes here, right? So quantitative is the amount. Quantitative has to do with a number. So whenever you see a number observation, that's what we call quantitative. All right, so a hypothesis is a testable explanation of a situation, so it's almost like a prediction. But the important part that I want you to get is we're going to use this format. If this happens, or if I change something, then I believe this will happen because of something that I maybe have heard of in the past, or I've seen occur, or just my past experiences kind of indicate that this might occur. So let's do some quick examples. So if, then, and because. So, crickets chirp more if the temperature is warmer. So what is the thing that's changing is the temperature increasing. So if the temperature increases, I believe, so we're using if, so if, then, and because. So if, then, because. So our if statement for the first one would be if the temperature increases, then crickets will chirp more, because I've heard crickets chirp in the summer when it's hotter, right? Well, let's look at number 2. How does the size of a fish tank determine how large a fish will grow? So if a fish is put in a larger fish tank, then the fish will increase in size because, I don't know, maybe there's more nutrients, there's more room to grow, something like that. And so you can kind of see, I just want to make sure we do an if, then, and because, so I'll have you try number 3 on your own. Does the wavelength of light red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet affect a plant's growth. So if the light is red, what do you think might happen, and why do you think that's the case? Okay, so if, then, and because, that's the big thing when hypothesis. All right, so after we've gone through several hypotheses, maybe several generations of people have gone through hypotheses, we can come up with a scientific theory. This is an explanation of the natural processes and is supported by multiple observations and experiments over time. This is, done over hundreds of years even. And so examples, some common examples: gravity is a theory. Evolution is a theory. There's theory about cells, plate tectonics, like where the idea is that we're on plates. Earth's crust is made of plates that are moving. We've observed this. I don't know if you've lived through or experienced an earthquake, but that's an example of plate tectonics. Gravity, obviously. Evolution. We've studied DNA, starting with Darwin, moving forward. So we have all that kind of, but that's what we call a scientific theory. It's not like some people think a theory is just like, oh, I think this, whereas a scientific theory is much more than that. It's multiple groups of people have run observations, experiments, and so it's the best explanation that we have at this moment, but it's not random, nor is it just kind of offhand. All right, so the next one will be variables. We'll stop here.